Just don't know. I don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Don't know. Just don't. So you are most likely wondering, when did I lose my virginity? Because I told you that at the age of 9, I ran into pornographic magazines in the back trunk of my dad's car. And then at the age of 12, I stumbled upon live action pornographic material on the Playboy channel. And I say stumbled because I was flipping through the channels unsupervised as a 12-year-old kid and ran upon or fell upon the Playboy channel. When did I lose my virginity? When did actual sexual conduct begin? Well, self-abuse, masturbation started right around the age of 12, the same time that I came across the pornographic images on the television. I had a neighbor across the street from where I lived in the Bahamas, across the street from my grandparents' house. And, you know, before I really knew what love was, I guess you could say I had very strong feelings for this young lady. And I didn't know how she felt about me, but I was very close to her brother. Her younger brother and I played basketball endless summer days during our adolescent years. I mean, the basketball court was right across the street from my grandparents' house where I lived, and then right behind her house where my neighbor that I was infatuated with lived. And I do remember many days going over to her house just to get a look at her. I mean, you know, I was young. I wasn't mature in my brain when it came to sexual things, so it wasn't like I was going over there and dropping a line, trying to, you know, get in her head or even get into her clothing, if you catch what I'm saying. But I would always smile and talk and, you know, flirt on that little immature level, I guess. And I guess she noticed it. Because one evening, I say I was about 15 during this time. And I go over to her house. I knock on the door. I'm only over there to see her brother. And she immediately opens the door, grabs me, and starts kissing on me. And I'm just like, okay. You know, it caught me off guard. I mean, I wasn't expecting it at all. And, but it felt good, you know. Hey, I remember she started fondling me. And I'm 15. I remember I had some jeans shorts on. And they were about an inch or so above my kneecaps. I remember it to this day. And she started putting her hand in my pants, kissing at me, grabbing on me. And of course, I'm aroused at this point because I've never been in a situation quite like this. Yes, I had seen images of still photos of men and women having sex. And then at 12, 3 years before this time, I had seen the actual live action images on the television. But this was completely unique. I hadn't been in anything like this, and I didn't go over there looking for it. It caught me completely off guard. Well, her parents were building an addition to their home. They were building up an additional part where they were about to rent out to someone in the community. And before it was complete, and this was in the Bahamas, she took me upstairs into this incomplete room that they were adding on to their home. And I remember she got into the window of the building. She gently, I say gently, calmly dropped her undergarments. And I was just staring at her naked body like, what am I supposed to do next? I mean, I was truly out of my element. But guess what? That wasn't when I lost my virginity. I was so afraid at that time. I was so scared as to put my manhood in a woman. At age 15, I was so afraid of that I looked at her, and although her body was fine, I mean, she is even to this day a very gorgeous woman. She was even more slender and fit at that time because we were both teenagers. But I refused. I just couldn't do it. I was in a position where, although physically I felt like doing it, mentally and emotionally I knew that it was wrong. And I pulled my pants back up because by this time she had all of my clothes off. And I pulled my pants back up and I looked at her and I said, "I'm sorry, but I can't." And I guess she must have thought that it was rejection on my part, that I was saying to her that I'm not interested. Either you're not attractive enough or maybe you're too easy and I just can't do it. Perhaps that's what she interpreted from that, because I remember we barely ever talked again. There were some other times where we got into each other's face because I'd come over to see her brother, but really after that moment, it was never the same. The relationship was never the same. Well, you fast forward, that was I'd say if I was 15, then that means that was about 1997, 1998. I'm 39 years old now. So you do the math. I'm not good with math. Let's fast forward that to when I actually lost my virginity. Now, it's interesting what sex is. Because again, from a very early age, I was introduced to sex. I was introduced to it, like I mentioned, in the pornographic realm. But I didn't have any experience with the actual thing. Yeah, I masturbated quite often. And the thing about masturbation is that you can do this all by yourself in your imagination. It doesn't require another person. And that's dangerous. Because when you come upon the reality that the pleasure that you receive from it is just that pleasureful, then you find yourself thinking about it. You find yourself indulging in it and doing it more often. Oh, yes. I mean, I can remember sneaking around the house and doing it in different places. Now, you may say, well, wasn't the bathroom the best place? For those of you that have done it and know that the bathroom offers some privacy, you might consider that, yeah, that would be the best place. But there's something about your nerves when you're doing stuff you don't know that you ain't supposed to be doing. Just going to the bathroom and being in there for 15, 20 minutes, it feels like that's just giving yourself away. And after a little while, you don't go in the bathroom, you look for other places, right? And I remember my grandparents had a big, and still to this day, a 2-story home, 5 bedrooms. And I remember the laundry room. Although it was downstairs, it was on the lower level of the home, near where the action was, the kitchen, the living room, and everything else. Because it was situated kind of in the back of the house, there wasn't a lot of activity in that specific area. And I remember that I could go in there and get lost in that area for a little while, even before I started masturbating, touching myself, etc. I remember I would go in there and I would do my thing, and I never got caught doing it there. I remember finding areas around the home where I could arouse myself without detection. And so, you get to that level of professionalism, if you want to say, because you've gotten to that point where you have learned when is the best time, how to do it efficiently, quickly. I mean, we become pros, we become professionals, and I've mentioned a little bit of this before. I did not lose my actual virginity until the year 2003. And because there's so many other things that took place before I actually lost my virginity in the area of relationships, that I am not going to share with you right now the exact story as to how I lost my virginity, because I'd be jumping the gun. You stick around and you follow this ministry, you follow these Wednesday testimony segments, and I will most definitely catch you up to speed.